I'm holding in my hand, one hand, easy, light, easy to do, the NAD D 3045 integrated amp. There's the back. Nice, not much space, but nice setup of connectivity options. There's the front. And you can use it horizontally or vertically. That's kind of cool, right? So it's a hybrid amplifier, Class D, in other words. 60 watts channel. No 4 ohm rating is specified or implied by any chance, which kind of surprised me. But anyway, it is what it is. I like it. I do. It's got a lot of useful features. One of the most useful and rarely seen on stereo integrated amplifiers is bass management, meaning that the speakers can be high-passed with 120, 80, or 40 hertz crossover to the speakers. That's kind of nice. There's also a bass boost. If you're using little speakers and you don't have a sub, you could boost the bass from the small speakers. I wasn't too crazy about the sound of the bass boost. It seemed like a little much and a little thickening, and didn't do it for me. Now the first speakers I hooked up to this puppy were my Magnapan .7s, and those are sort of a torture test for budget amplifiers. They're inefficient. They're 4 ohm speakers, and I can't say that the D3045 was entirely happy driving those speakers. It worked, but sounded like a struggle. So out went the .7s, in came the KEF LS50s. Everybody knows them, everybody loves them. Actually, not everybody, most people love them. I like them. That combination worked so much better. It wasn't struggling. It sounded well together. So now at that point, I brought out my NAD C316 BEE, the original version of that amp. Because that's sort of my benchmark for affordable amps. How does an amp sound relative to the C316? And you know what? D3045 did a pretty good job in that stack up, in that face-off. Because actually the 3045 was a little sweeter and more rounder. The 316 was, it actually, even with the LS50s, it sounded like I was working kind of hard. And the 3045 was more effortless, let's put it that way. Had a little more natural sound, more rounded sound, which I'm kind of for. So that was good. What else can I say? Oh, so it has a headphone jack. It's got a USB input. It's high res up to 384, 24-bit. I can't say that DAC was altogether thrilling for me. I have an RCAM. I wish I could tell you an IR DAC, IR DAC 2, the later version. It's just $799 all by itself, and that DAC was definitely way better than the DAC included in this, but should be. It's a more expensive DAC. So all in all, I liked it. I liked the D3045, except, well, a couple of things. First thing is, I don't like plastic in relatively expensive things. And I would call $699 relatively expensive. And this plastic volume control knob doesn't sit right with me for something at that price. The remote control, which you've seen plenty of these before, this little plastic guy here, not thrilled with this either. Mostly because, not that it's plastic, that's okay, is that below the volume down button is the bass boost button and bass crossover button. So it's too easy to accidentally hit that bass button when you're trying to lower the volume. And when you do that, the preamp, the 3040 mutes, and you have to go through a few settings to get back to playing music. That's annoying. Does it mute? I don't remember if it mutes, but it's not happy when you press that button. So why didn't anybody who designed this remote think of that? Should I put the bass boost button directly below the volume down button? Do you think people could accidentally be hitting that button in the dark all the time since it's not a backlit remote? Yes, they will. Bad design. But more importantly, as I'm going through writing this review and listening to the product and using the product. Apparently, I used it more than the people who designed that remote, because had they used it, they wouldn't have made that mistake. Anyway, as I'm living with this thing, I'm thinking about, what about the Outlaw RR2160 stereo receiver? Now that one is $799, but it's a Class AB amplifier, and one that has 160 watts per channel, while the NAD has 60 watts channel. Big difference. And I got to tell you, I don't have it here to compare, but I can tell you that that baby had no problem with those Maggies. It drove them like nothing. With inefficient speakers like the Maggie's, power counts, and the Outlaw is a much better amp for those speakers. But you know what? It was also a better amp for the LS50s and some other speakers I had around when I was reviewing that one. So for $100, now the only feature I think that the Outlaw lacks relative to the NAD is, as memory serves, Bluetooth. So if you're a Bluetooth kind of guy, and this sending and receiving Bluetooth that the D3040 has is important to you, well, you're not going to get that. I don't think. I don't know. I can't keep all these specs and numbers in my head, but I would say, I would acknowledge that the NAD is a better featured product than the Outlaw, but the Outlaw is a better sounding product for $100 more. It's also a lot bigger. It's a full-size receiver, and the NAD is way more compact, so if space is at a premium, that would basically put you in the side of the NAD rather than the Outlaw. I think I've said my piece. For more detail and definitely more accurate information, I will link to the Outlaw review, the RR2160, and also this one, the NAD D3045, on my CNET blog. That will be available to you right below this video. As always, thank you for watching. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. Comes up daily. If you like it, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, share it, do all that social media stuff. And I hope, I really do, I hope to see you back here again very, very soon. And thank you for watching.